Hi everyone, I'd like to call the Jamaica Selectboard Meeting to order for Monday, March 28th. And the first item on the agenda is to table the minutes for the March 14th meeting.
Paul Fraser, our chair, had not got a chance to review the minutes, and he just wanted to be sure that if there was any corrections that he needs to make, he'd like to do it at the next meeting, so he has to have the minutes tabled.
I don't understand that, to be honest with you, because did we just stop our work?
No, he just asked for this, to table these minutes, because he hadn't had a chance to review them, and he did have some corrections, and he wanted to bring them to the board.
Well, it would entertain a motion to table the minutes
Can I make
if
a
we wanted
motion?
to discuss it.
I'll move that.
You have a second?
Okay, now it's open for discussion.
Well, what I said, but, I mean, we certainly can do that. But if I were absent and I hadn't read the minutes, would you table them for me?
If you asked, yes.
Okay.
We'd at least vote on it. Right? Is there any other discussion on tabling the minutes? All in favor? Any opposed? Next thing is to approve the timesheets for the town office listers, highway, transfer station.
Pardon me, point of order.
Right.
It's-
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Second one is to approve the newspaper of record and date and time for select board meetings.
That was inadvertently omitted at the organizational meeting. In the past, we've had the Brattleboro Reformer, our newspaper of record, and our dates and time are the second and fourth Mondays of each month, starting at 7 o'clock. I'd like to make a motion that we use the Brattleboro Reformer and have the select board meetings the second and fourth Monday of each month, starting at 7 o'clock.
I'll second that.
Could I ask that we put those in two separate motions, because each is a
Sure,
separate item?
okay.
So if you, yes, if you don't mind removing the second.
Yeah, I take it away.
All right, so our newspaper, I make a motion that we use the Brattleboro Reformer as our newspaper of record.
I second it.
Any discussion? I just would like to, I've noticed that some other select boards use the commons.
Oh, do they?
Not that I'm for that, but. I've
Yeah,
heard
we've had better luck with the Brattleboro Reformer. We've tried the Commons, and we had better
Okay.
luck. We had to go back to the Brattleboro Reformer.
I
The
think
comment or
the,
the message?
yeah, I think the reformer is best because, not necessarily for the agendas, but for things like special warnings and stuff like that. I think it gets out to more people.
Just some information, I'm all for the reformer. So, any other discussion?
No, the one thing, that we got a bill today and it seems to have been reduced in cost.
The reformer?
Yes, I think, is that correct?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Newspaper.
we got a bill for $220 or $10 for the year some months ago, and I said it's not worth that. Well, today we got a thing for $139 for the year.
Yeah. So I've seconded it.
Any further discussion? All in favor of having the reformer for our newspaper of record?
Aye.
And any opposed?
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we have our select board meetings on the second and fourth Monday of each month, starting at 7 o'clock.
I'll second that.
I'll second it.
Okay, 2 seconds. Is there any discussion on that? You want to move the time?
No,
All in favor of that, of having this select board meeting the second and fourth Monday of the month? Say aye.
Aye.
Nobody opposed? Okay. Sign the select board orders is the fourth agenda item. How about, we'll do that later. And number 5 is time for public concerns. See, there's some public here. Public concerns?
Yeah, so, the voters of the town of Jamaica, we've gotten more than 5% of the legal voters to request, the select board call a special meeting for the voters to reconsider the following article, the town bond, garage bond vote. Shall the town of Jamaica approve the bond vote not to exceed the amount of $750,000 for the replacement of the existing town garage? So we are petitioning this at this point in time. Is there anything else, Lou, that we need to do other than present this to you this evening?
You actually don't present it to us, you present it to the town clerk.
So we would like this to go on record as being presented to the select board this evening.
But officially, it has to go to the clerk.
I will absolutely bring it to the clerk tomorrow. What does she need to do with it, Lou?
We'll contact our attorney and find out, we haven't looked at that really. So we'll
You got
contact our attorney and find out what we do.
The town clerk will have to make sure that all the voters that all the people that signed
signatures
are
are valid.
registered voters. in the
Yes.
ballot.
We understand that.
And the attorney will make sure that the voting is properly done.
Well, what I would like to do is leave this with the board member this evening and have that recorded tomorrow with the town
No,
clerk.
I think
you
it
can't
says
do that.
you-
You have to deliver it to the town clerk in person.
I will deliver it tomorrow morning, but I would like this to go on record for the meeting this evening, that we do have a petition within 30 days, and I'd like that acknowledged by the select board member.
You have 30 days to get that to the clerk.
Yeah, it'll be there tomorrow,
Okay.
but it's
You
my
can
understanding
certainly
that I needed
notify
to
us,
present it
but-
to you as well.
But you can notify us, but I don't think there's anything that we need to do to reply to that at this time.
Okay,
No?
thank you.
Any other public concerns? That's
The
it?
reason I'm here is I had seen the agenda for this evening, and there were two things. One thing that was missing supposedly by this date, a committee to help support the select board in choosing contractors and looking at whatever decisions are being made, and turning that information over to the select board so they can make decisions. And so that was not in place. The other one was that I saw that Cott was supposed to be on deck for this evening, and my concern there was, if he's coming, what is he coming for? Is it, are you contracting him, or are you just having a discussion? I didn't know what it was, that's why I'm here, and you can tell me what there is to tell.
I sort of have some information on why. I believe, and maybe some of the other board can help me, that the names came in at the end of last Thursday's
That was the
business.
deadline.
And it was the feeling it was the chair.
What
or-
names?
that were people who wanted to be on the committee for the town garage.
Okay.
And the select board has not
Made
seen
a
it,
decision.
because it was,
Right.
they were given they were here Thursday, and then they're closed on Friday, so as soon as Paul comes back, he's at a conference on
Okay.
Wednesday, we will,
Yeah, I think, I had the very same concern. I talked to Paul on Thursday about the agenda, and he said that he's not gonna be here tonight because
But you have a quorum.
he's at a conference, and he'd like to be part of the decision-making process for that.
Well, I respect his opinion,
So,
but we still have a quorum,
Yeah, we do.
so it could have been done.
It could have, but remember, the chair controls the agenda. So Paul, as the chair, chose not to put it on the agenda. So that's the reason it's not on the agenda.
Well, I saw a printed page where
It
it was.
was on
Right.
the agenda.
Pardon me?
It was on the agenda.
no,
No, that was not.
that was
The
not,
meeting
Cotton
with
Design
Cotton
was
was.
on.
Yeah, that's a different topic. I'm talking about the
Yeah.
fact that, for the committee.
Okay.
And we haven't even, we would like to look at the names and
Yeah, I
discuss
understand,
them.
but Pam, when she showed me the list, there was a target date.
Right,
It was the 24th,
for them to get here.
to get here, and then we have to
We
look
had
at the
hoped to.
names.
All right. And Cotton obviously was not showing up.
No, we didn't ask them to show up. You want-
It's just I saw it printed on that agenda.
I'd let Lexa speak to that.
Okay, the chair has to put, contract really shouldn't be, it should have been negotiations.
Thank you.
I make a motion that the select board enter into a negotiation with Cotton Design for the town highway garage design.
And the maximum of that is $10,000?
We're negotiating with him, we're gonna sit down and negotiate with him, we don't have a price from him.
I think I'd like to hear a second before.
I'll
we
second that
discuss it.
motion.
Okay, now it's open for discussion.
I have discussion. I have a question. And the question is, as I am aware, it is required that when we spend $10,000 or more, that we send out our RFPs, request for proposals, so that we have at least we send out three requests for funding or for doing whatever we're asking them to do. This has not happened. We only have one. When I had the well done, I had to have three, and we were just a little bit over $10,000. We sit here many, many nights opening up envelopes, and my question is, why is this one different with only one name? Why are we not following the rule that I think has been here for years, that anything over $10,000 must go through at least 3 bids?
We are following the rules. Andy can read our procurement policy.
There's an exception that's highlighted here in our procurement policy. And I'll just read the second one. The purchase of professional services shall normally be exempt from the formal bid process. It is recognized that proposals for professional services, including but not limited to legal counsel, insurance, engineering, architectural services, and some other consulting services, are difficult to compare, and that weight must be given to many considerations other than price. In any case, the purchase of professional services whose cost is expected to exceed $5,000 for a project must be approved by the select board.
Okay.
May I see where that came from? Thank you. And when was this passed? You know?
The
My
policy-
recollection was about 3 years ago, I think.
September
we did that.
24th, 2012.
Yeah, that's about right.
There's, okay, 2012, there are 3 people on it that has signed. Of course, that's a majority. Okay.
May
I just think that
I-
I would, when we're going through the flood, when we hired CHP,
Yeah.
did we put out for 2 other ones?
No.
That's the only other time I can recall, so I can understand the question.
Yeah, my concern, which has been my soapbox during this whole procedure, I am very much in favor of having a town garage. My major issue is transparency for all of us in this room and everybody out there. And I don't think that having this one person or this one group doing it is enough transparency. And that really, really bothers me greatly. But if I have to abide by the rule too, just like if that were the rule and this hadn't been written, I would have asked the select board to follow that rule too.
Well, how is it benefiting the town's payers and the people here to not have multiple bids, or at least put it out to bid? How is it benefiting us to let one company in?
I think,
Would you like to respond to that?
sure, well, not just to that, but just in general. Engineering is sort of a peculiar thing. You have to feel comfortable with your engineer. I remember when we did the bridge work, we had some engineering work done on the bridge down at the state park, and we felt comfortable at the time with SVE Associates, so we didn't put that out to an RFP. We voted as a group to hire SVE Associates. So I think it's a comfort level that that you have to feel with an engineer or an architect. I think we've been, I don't know, I'm not gonna say promised a discount, but the fact that they've already done a lot of work on the Winhall garage, we felt that we could leverage off of the work that's been done there and not have to always start from scratch. If we were to hire a different engineer than Cotton, then we'd have to start that process from scratch. And during this work up to the vote, we've been working with Cotton, feel comfortable with Cotton, and have this feeling that we're going to be able to save money with Cotton. So I think that's the reason for the single person, as opposed to trying to put it out to RFP and just hire the lowest bidder from.
Well, you don't have to hire the lowest bidder.
I understand, but that's the pressure.
When you buy a car, you just take the first price?
No, but a lot of times the person you buy the car from is the person you feel most comfortable with, not necessarily with the lowest price.
Well, I think you just said something very important, Lou, which is you've used other engineers for other projects in this town, and I think out of just a pure respect for those engineers as well, you owe them the opportunity to continue to work with us. And I don't think that it's fair to just go with one because they've done the job in Winhall. And what Winhall did may not be what we're going to do here.
That's certainly for sure.
So,
But I guess I speak to that comfort level, so.
Yeah.
How about I just take a show of hands?
Yeah, brings up the question of, you're talking about 675,000 for a garage, and if you break it down into components, there's engineering, there is this work and site work, and all. Your comfort level would be whoever is available that you know, and how would that be distributed, and you don't have to approve anything other than whatever is, you can just spend the whole money without getting any kind of approval on that from the public, because it doesn't fall into that $10,000 categories. You can do what you want to do. How does that apply? Am I wrong in assuming that? That's number one. On the comfort level, you should have at least 3 people that you're comfortable with. How do you know you're getting a good deal from this engineer? Because you like him, because he did this work over there. You really don't know. You have nothing to compare it to, do you?
Well, the only thing we can compare it to is other buildings, similar buildings in the area.
Well, you don't know what they paid for the engineering cost, do you?
No, we're not talking about the cost, we're talking about the type of building and the like.
No, I'm talking about
Does
the
anybody else have any
engineering
comment?
Young lady in the back.
I was thinking on terms of what Fred was saying, in that by having the town vote ahead of time on the funding for this project, to me it's putting the cart before the horse, because you did not come to the town with any specifics as to what you may be doing with that $750,000. But now that you have the votes to go ahead with it, it is up to your discretion to do basically what you want to do with $750,000. And I believe by issuing the petition for a revote on this project, all of this that we're discussing may not even need to be discussed, because legally that needs to come to a revote. And if the town decides against the project, then this is not pertaining to anything. And I don't think that it's a matter of people being against having a new town garage, from what I got from a lot of feedback from people. It is the manner in which the town went about putting together this vote for the $750,000 with no plans in place. I, as a taxpayer, would like to see the information gathered prior to any vote on a large sum of money being spent. And I would like specifics on Exhibit A, this could be what we could do. Exhibit B, this could be what we could do. This is how much this one costs, this is how much this one costs, etc., etc. By completely voting ahead on the monies, you now, if this goes ahead, are going to basically do whatever you want. And then when the funding is spent, where's the additional funding coming from?
Go ahead, Lou.
I think you kind of answered your own question. When we had our hearings prior to the vote, it became clear to us that whether the vote passed or whether it doesn't, and now if the new vote passes or it doesn't, one way or the other, we're going to need to come up with some engineering designs, because if this vote fails, or if your vote succeeds and therefore it nullifies the previous vote, then it's clear to us that in order for us to present this project to you again, we do need to have engineering plans designed. So,
And not just
So
engineering plans.
Right.
There needs to be cost analysis.
correct,
And
and that all comes with engineering, correct. So what I'm saying basically is that whether we hire an engineer to design plans for an already voted on building, or whether we hire an engineer to design plans for a vote in the future, one way or the other, we need to have an engineer or an architect selected. So,
Why
So-
not put that out to the people?
pardon me?
Why not ask the folks in the
Well,
town?
It's clear that,
Or,
it's clear from our procurement policy that the select board is the one that hires.
right, and
But that is where the planning commission planning
Yeah.
commission, that's where the building committee comes in, because they're the ones who are going to be exploring all of the options. And actually, in sitting here thinking, the next time that we have a time when we can vote to begin the building committee is going to be in 3 weeks. Meanwhile, how much is going to be done? There really should be nothing done until that planning, till the building committee meets.
Well, I suspect that when on that date of that first building committee, we would like to have our engineer in place so he could actually sit down at the table with them. If we were to follow your suggestion and allow the building committee to choose the architect, that's gonna take months. Now, instead, the building committee can sit down at their first meeting with an architect to begin the process of exploring what that building might look like. And that's the reason I want to get the architect on board as quickly as possible.
And in our defense, the reason we didn't go ahead and hire whoever and present some plans about the town garage was the cost. We didn't take it upon ourselves to go and hire an engineer to, say, here's some plans for a new town garage. We're beating a dead horse here. I mean, we've had this discussion before, we're damned if we do or if we don't.
I'd like to see if I can
Yes.
break this logjam if I can. I address this to you, Lou. I'm a designer. I've worked on many different projects and over the years. I worked with computer-assisted design. You can just about go any place, and for $1,500 get a complete set of plans of your building. And some of the materials involved, electrical wire, so that starts to go up. But you should certainly be able to negotiate these people. Just say, I want a rough sketch, $3,500, go and make me a rough sketch. It only takes
But you
a
see,
few hours.
you're asking the engineer to make you a rough sketch, when the building committee hasn't even sat down with that engineer and
Well,
said, here's the kinds of
we had
things
a
that we
basic,
need.
you lay out a basic design. Start out with that. Start out with one design, let them all.
That's what we did, really. We
No,
started
but I
out
think
with that Winhall
So
design.
that the committee has a set of plans in their hand, this is what we're talking about, now we can move this over here, we can make the roof higher, make it lower. There's so many basic things that you can do with the assisted design
Yep.
that at least gives you a start.
Right.
It gives you a
And-
start, and I think
And I
maybe
think
that's this where we should
I'm
start
feeling
now.
totally with you, Bob, because I think if we hire Cotton, we've got a design to start from. we've got that Winhall design as a,
Well,
as a
is it
start.
that design or is it this?
We don't
design?
have to do it exactly, that was just a.
Right, but that can be his starting point, and he can
Right.
say, maybe we only need 5 bays, we don't need 6, or maybe we can cut the back down another 20 feet.
But I'm saying that it doesn't cost a lot of money for a guy to sit down at one of these computer stations and give you that in 2 hours or 3 hours. And you're
I think
happy.
it'll take months.
And so, no,
Well, it
no,
takes months to find
It'll
something.
take
It
months.
takes months.
no.
If we go put out an
And it'll
RFP,
cost
we have to
$4,000,
put that
$5,000,
RFP out for
$6,000.
3 weeks, it's gotta sit out there for 3 weeks, and then we've gotta have a meeting to open the bids, and we have to have another couple meetings to decide who the one we're gonna choose.
See, I think one of the problems that we're running into is that in some of the board members' heads, this project has to be done by next fall. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that, knowing what a well took 3 years to get, this project is gonna be at least a 2-year project,
We were hoping to,
minimum.
but the only reason we were hoping to get it done this year was due to the fact that the interest rates are low.
I understand all of
It's
that, but
gonna be, it's gonna go up, the price is gonna go up. We were looking at, but if people wanna wait, or, that's fine.
I think it is not logical to believe that we can get all of these ducks in order so quickly. And as I said, knowing, just doing a simple well, how much it was difficult to
Make
get
that
it.
motion.
And now we're building a huge building that's $750,000. It's not going to go that quickly. It's not going to be up in the fall. What I would like to do, and I don't know if this will fly, but I'm gonna throw it out just for the heck of it. I would like that when Paul comes back, that we sit down and we warn a special meeting for the building committee to be selected, and that we go ahead and get them on board and not wait 3 weeks. And the reason why it's 3 weeks is because we've got an extra week before the second Monday of April.
You need to
And
hire,
at least get that board started in looking at what's going on. I would really
but
like
it's up to the
to see
select
that
board to
happen.
do the hiring. The committee is just to advise us.
We're fine.
The select board,
That's exactly right.
It's-
That's exactly right, but there'll be more people, and people like Bob and Fred and others who are within the town that are also going to have a say in it, and that's where the transparency comes in. It should not be just us.
we're not trying to.
Hold on, hold on.
We're
I
not-
support the idea of having a meeting before 3 weeks to come up with a committee, because I, like you, want to get this thing moving.
Yeah.
But I do support the idea of hiring the engineer now, so that that engineer can be at that first meeting and we can
I
get.
need them.
And that's what the motion is.
That's what-
It's not to interrupt, but that's the motion on the floor right now. And is there one more question?
Is it a proposal? Would that meeting be a proposal? Well, proposal meeting. Hi, my name is Bob, and I designed this great barn for you. I'll come in, and make a sketch for you, won't cost you a penny.
Well, I'm hoping that we'll have already hired that architect, and he'll be able to sit down with you at that meeting and begin that process. That's what I would envision.
If he wants the business, there's an awful lot of information you can get from the vendor who wants the business. You know, let it be promotion. I'm gonna do this for you because I want the business. It's not nickel and dime. He can certainly afford to put out
It's-
$300 to $500.
Well, now,
worth
this
of
motion
effort.
is to negotiate a contract, and that we haven't decided on him yet. We have to come up with the terms of the contract, and then maybe perhaps sitting down with us at that meeting might be a good possibility.
Sure.
But I still go with my motion that we should enter into negotiations with, or I
That
can't
was my
select the
motion.
I second it.
I'm a little confused here as far as the public. We can continue to take questions from the public
Yeah,
until,
well, until we want to close debate.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna close it.
Yes.
has anyone else have a question that hasn't spoken already? No, if not, I'll listen. I'm just asking, does anyone else hasn't.
There was a question where.
How about Mrs. Lowe behind you, had her hand up?
I'm just confused here why you have a motion on the floor to have an architect or negotiate a contract when you have numerous people sitting here in front of you that you work for. You five represent the town. We have voices that are speaking up. You actually have a select board member that's making a bit of sense here that maybe we need to take a step back and get a committee prepared first. But yet you are blatantly ignoring everything we're saying, and you want to move forward on a vote to hire or negotiate a contract. Why is that? You are not listening to the people at all. And I'll be the first to tell you that I spoke to more than 50 people on this list in town that said they don't feel like they even have a chance to be heard. They don't even think that anybody up here is listening to the people in the town. That's not okay. It's not. And I think this motion ought to be removed because you don't even know if this is going to go forward. The special vote ought to be taken care of first in the meeting before anything. This has got to end. You guys have to start listening to the town people. If you don't,
We
they're
are
going to...
listening.
Well,
That's
you're
why I
not.
asked.
You're saying, let's shut this down,
I did
let's
not
move
say
the
that,
motion.
Julie.
And you just whipped out a piece of paper that said, we can vote on this whether you like it or not, public.
No, that's not what it said.
Yeah, you can hire without putting it out to bid. And you just heard numerous people in here say, it should go out to bid. It's what's in the best interest of the town. And you know what, Lou? If Cotton Design is what's in the best interest of this town, so be it. Come to the table with your numbers, and so should SVE, and so should any other engineering firm you've worked with, whether it's through Irene, or the Well, or Bridges, or whatever. We should be listening to them. You can't do the picking and choosing, hand-picking. It's not
Yes, we
okay.
can.
Yeah, well, and you can also not listen to us, which seems to be the MO here.
That's your opinion. I
No,
don't believe
you did
that's
it
the
last
case.
My opinion too.
There were two other people here at the last select board meeting, and you shut them down when they had two opinions out of 600 plus voters in this town, and you shut them down before they could even speak their piece. That's not working with the town. You know, Paul, I wish Paul was here tonight, but his big thing was, we're not gonna spend this money. We're gonna talk to people. We're gonna know what they want. We're not just gonna go nuts, you know? You guys are gonna have a say. When are we gonna have a say? That's why this petition's here, because people want to say. Everybody felt pressured into that vote because it was like, boom, boom, done. Nobody even had information. Do you know 5 people on this list said to me, as soon as I voted yes to that garage, I walked out and thought, what did I just do? Why did I do that? That's not a good vote. We need information. We're not denying that something needs to be done. We all agree something needs to be done. That is across the board. A lot of people I talked to said, yes, we absolutely need to do something about the town garage, regardless. But a lot of people don't agree with putting it back in the flood zone. A lot of people don't agree with a septic that has to get an easement from a neighbor that we don't have. A lot of people don't agree with spending this much money without getting quotes from numerous people. And by the way, those people should know about the bond.
We're not hearing.
That's right, and I'm speaking on behalf of over 50
I want them
people.
here.
Well then,
Go get them.
we'll get them here.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. Now,
You can say what you want, Lexa, but you don't listen to us either. It's the truth.
That you're.
okay, let's have
That's all you do is.
It's
the
civility here.
Yeah, let's have some civility.
I'm calm. So, one thing about the committee, I'm out of order maybe, talking about the committee. If we were gonna form a committee, are we gonna call a meeting and form the committee in front of all the applicants?
I think after we're done with this vote, I think that's a good
Then I would like,
good motion.
yes, I would like,
That-
after this is finished, we have a motion on the table that's been seconded. We've got to go through that one
Right.
first, and then I'll come with a new motion.
Any other further discussion? All in favor of entering into a contract with Cotton negotiations with Cotton Designs for architectural design for the town highway? Say aye. Aye. All opposed?
No.
All right, that motion passes. Are there any, are there any other public concerns? Okay.
I would like to just move the number 8 contract negotiation with Cotton Designs up higher, because I think the people here are interested in that topic.
That's what we just did.
Yeah.
That's where you just.
No.
Oh,
We just did that
I guess I was thinking something different. Excuse me.
I would like to make a motion.
I think I'm supposed to follow the agenda first,
Oh, okay.
right?
Well, give
And
me,
then
Yes.
when we come to,
give me a chance when it's time.
okay, next is a first-class liquor license renewal application for 3 Mountain Inn. We need a motion on that?
Make a motion that we approve and sign the application for 821 Corporation, which is a 3 Mountain Inn.
Right.
All the paperwork is filled out and the fees are clear.
I
Second.
move that we do, or she seconded?
No, we-
I mean, firsted.
Right.
I seconded.
Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the next thing is some permits, excess weight permits from Carlton Trucking Incorporated, from Londonderry, Vermont, and Frost Walls and Pumps Incorporated, East Dorset, Vermont. Is that something we have to
We make a motion
have and give to all?
and we give to Lou, because he's our road commissioner.
Oh, that's right. And we're all-
And the fees and the insurances are with those paperwork.
Yeah. What I've done is I've asked Pam to put a little thing of paper in all the envelopes to try to highlight the restrictions. So I'm a little bit concerned that they aren't clear enough, so I've asked her to put some paper in it so it highlights the concern, so when we send it back to them, they'll see those restrictions, mostly about the breaches.
Okay,
Sounds good.
did you make a motion?
Yes.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. Any other business that is to come before the board?
Shall I do my motion now?
Yes,
Go
sir.
ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I move that the select board have a special emergency meeting warned in order to set up the building committee as soon as possible so that we can get them started with the work of helping with the town garage, the building of the town garage.
Before I second it, I'd like to take the word emergency out, leave the word special, but take the word emergency
Okay.
out.
But it's a
And I'll
friendly
second.
amendment.
I'll second that.
All right, it's been a second. Is there any discussion? I have some. Why? We have those names. We have to publicly put the committee together? Is that what we're doing? We're warning a meeting to pick 2 people for the committee? Is that my
Well,
understanding?
4 people, actually, because there are 2
Well, a couple
from
of the
the,
select board, but 2
Yeah.
from the public?
yeah.
Why wouldn't we just do that anyway and say we've picked, why can't we just do that without warning a meeting?
Sure.
We should check with our lawyer.
Normally, we have, on some kind of vote like that, we have to have that on a warning. We just can't do that without being warned.
Right,
Well, I'm
especially
just
because
saying, the process,
we're doing
say-
it
say-
together as a group.
Yeah, one of the things we're concerned about is are we allowed to talk about those people in an executive session? We're not- It's not like we're hiring
no, I understand
an
that.
employee, so we need to get some legal advice on that.
But say we go through we'll read the applicants' names and then we pick 2 of them. Isn't that kind of discourteous to the other 3 that don't get picked, or?
Right, and that's, I think, why we want to talk to our legal counsel and find out the best way to do that legally.
I was under the assumption that we were just going to, we asked for the letters
I'm
and
fine
then
with
we would pick them. But
Yeah.
if that's illegal, which I
I
don't
don't
think.
know, no, I mean,
No,
it's not illegal to just read the names and then pick 2. The question is, are we allowed to discuss those people? What are the merits of this person? What's the merits of that person? And should that conversation be held in private?
In executive session.
And my question is, I don't know how that can be in private because they're not employees. And generally, when we go into executive session for a personnel issue, it's for employees. So,
I understand that.
although we can go into executive session, for example, to discuss select board members, so maybe we can go into executive session to discuss committee member.
But it still needs to be within the framework of a
A regular
select board regular, or a meeting,
So I think,
a special meeting.
I like Judy's idea because that would give us another few days or a week to check with our attorney and find out how that would work. And then,
Because 3 weeks seems like an awfully long time to wait
yeah, I
to
agree.
get started.
Well, I think that the vetting process should take just a week or so, and you can bring people in as you.
Well, that's what we gotta find out. I mean,
Yeah.
certainly if we were hiring an employee, that's what we would do.
Well, I mean, employees, but these are all volunteers. that
Correct,
we're
right.
talking about. So the criteria would be something different.
But we don't wanna do it in a way that's gonna embarrass anybody either.
It's like volunteering for the old home day.
A lot of times, people don't raise their hand at town meeting to run for an office because they're afraid of that public scrutiny. We don't wanna embarrass anyone.
I think also it should be made very clear what the responsibility of the committee is, so that they don't ever step their boundaries, they don't, you know, come up with some crazy solution, you know.
Good point.
So where's that leave us? We can't do anything then?
Well, I would like to set if we vote appropriately on Judy's
Yeah, I
motion, I
have a
think we should set
motion
a
on the
date.
floor.
But we
I think
don't
we
need
should
any
say-
legal counsel or?
Not for the motion, no. But between now and then, I think it's appropriate for us to talk to our attorney.
Paul.
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I'm opposed. And if there's a minority opinion, I just think that's something we could do anytime. We could pick the two names out, pick the two people off the select board, and it'd be done tonight, tomorrow, whenever. That's my own, and then, so, that's all I have to say, and then I'll ask, having heard the minority opinion, does that change anyone's vote? Does anyone want to vote different?
Well, it was my anticipation
You
that it
want,
was going to be tonight, but I was told differently.
I know Paul wants to be part of that process.
okay, so no one wants to change their vote, so that motion passes. Okay,
I'd like to move that meeting be next Monday, if that works for everybody.
April 4th?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay.
so Lou's moved that it be next Monday.
What time?
I gotta have a second, I think. Are we voting on that?
Yeah, we should get a second.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Do we have any conflict with the planning commission? That's the only question.
Maybe we gotta make it earlier to
We should
avoid
make it
that.
earlier, if it is 7 o'clock, we should probably have it 6.
Okay.
Monday at 6, if y'all do that.
Is that all right, Elena? If there's no more discussion, all in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Opposed? All right, is there any other business to come before the board? Do you have anything, Lou?
Yeah, one thing, as flood zone administrator, I've been working with the planning commission, AKA the flood zone administrators. That's a committee that is part of our flood zone process. We've been working on revising our floodplain rules, regulations, and we've had a chance to go through the document in great detail. They would like to invite the select board to one of their meetings to to discuss it in detail. And there's a gentleman from the state, he's the state flood zone administrator for the southern part of Vermont. He's gonna be there to present thing on what he's calling river corridors. It's something that the state of Vermont is asking all towns to consider river corridor management. So the date that we've chosen for that is April 18th. I don't know if that's something that you're available for.
Oh, we can look.
It's a Monday.
Is that a Monday
It's
also?
a Monday, it's a regular planning commission meeting. If that date doesn't work for you, perhaps you could let me know and we can reschedule it, but that's the date that they would like to do it. Monday the 18th.
Okay. You have anything else?
No, that's it.
How about you?
Two things. One, all about the the transfer station. Today I had the honor of watching Triple T come and take away the compactor, which is that's quite a system that they have on there. And I asked Mark, when was the last time that it was exchanged? You know, we get a new clean one and they take the other stuff. And it was February the 23rd,
Wow.
which means that we have used it more than a month. And we used to be once every week that they came. And every time they come to pick it up, it costs us $142.50. So we're really saving money on that. So I feel really, really good. It's because of the town cooperating with that.
They'll put it over the window.
Huh?
We're dumping it over the window.
I hope not.
The second thing is that we had a surprise inspection last week from the state, and we came out really, really well. So, and I congratulated Mark because he does a really good job in keeping that place neat. And there was only one concern, and Lou and I are putting our heads together trying to figure out, there's supposed to be some kind of a notice up around what we have to do when there's hazardous waste. So I have to find out where that all lies, so to have that. So I feel really good about that.
And we have plenty of bags left. There's a pan around behind you.
We've
Want to
got-
come on sale?
Pallets of
Yeah, they
Last
are
us
on
for
sale.
2 years.
$2 for one and $3 for another.
Thank you. Is that anything else?
That's it, thank you.
Nothing for me. How about you? Okay, I'd entertain
Make a motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
A second, oh, go ahead.
Very much.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you all for coming.